Hello and welcome back to Thursday Morning Linda's Ease. Today we're over at the store. We're in front of a beautiful Bernina, top of the line. We have been so fortunate this year to have some new top of the line sewing machines and embroidery machines. And this is one of them, and we're going to go over that today. Some of the embroidery features and some of the really cool features of this machine. So I'm holding one of them right here of my features, and this is the largest hoop that you can get in this 990 machine. It's for embroidery purposes. And look how large it is. It is 12 inches this way and 16.1 inches this way. And actually it's a little bit larger, but the embroidery field that you can embroider in is right inside there, that 16.1 by 12. It's wonderful. And these are such easy hoops to use also. Very, very easy with that ratchet. I can just release my hoop like that, and all I do is put my design, whatever I'm embroidering on, inside the hoop. Obviously, I would like to do it on a flat surface, but I can just twist that in and it holds it right in for me. And we are ready to go, just like that. So before we get into the embroidery designs that are built into this machine, I wanted to show you that in the sewing side, you have designs that are like embroidery, very similar to embroidery, but they're in the sewing side. So you don't need this hoop. You don't need a hoop. You can just sew directly on it, and you can decide, because there is a straight line, so you're going to be, the machine kind of feeds the fabric through, and you guide it, gently guide it through. So you can take any of the decorative stitches in the sewing side. Look what we chose. We chose one that's Chicago, and it actually has the Chicago skyline. And you can take this embroidery design, so this is the original 100% size. You can actually increase that by 100% increments or even by little bits at a time, and you can go up to 500%. This is what the train looks like in 100, and this is what it looks like in 300%. Imagine what it is in 500%, and you can choose to make either one train, or you can go infinity and do up to a certain hundreds of them across an entire project and not even stop. So isn't that cool? And the feed dogs just take you to the right, to the left. They take you everywhere that you need to go. And that is in sewing, my friends. That is not in embroidery. So let's go over, just think about that. The engineers at Bernina came up with these beautiful designs. There's all kinds of them inside the decorative stitches on the sewing side. You can actually take them into the embroidery side. If you don't feel comfortable guiding your fabric, you can do the same increase in increments in the embroidery side as well with the same decorative stitches. So here we are on the big screen now, right? Look how big this screen is. We're in the embroidery side, and we're looking at all of the different folders that are built into this machine. And you can see that they have titles. And so you can press any of these titles and they go all the way down to in the hoop projects. And why don't we take a look at some of them, or we can go through all of them actually real quick. Inspirations, for example, then you have sub-menus that are quilt, dress, organizer, and chair. And so these are projects that we got to see, like for example, the chair was a beautiful design that you could put on as decorative embroidery on a chair, on upholstery. So that's something that's just beautiful. And we can go ahead and look back at the organizer. So there's different projects that you can make within the dress. So there were dresses that they showed at the convention when this Bernina came out, this machine. And so these are beautiful flowers that you can embroider onto the dresses. And it goes down, and there's a whole bunch of different flowers that you can put on garments. And then the quilt, of course, you can quilt all of these. So you can actually, these are BQM files. That means that's the Quiltmatic, the Qmatic that is from the Q series, the long arm, the frame. So they're bringing that format into the domestic machine here, which is, of course, it's such a large machine that you can do these beautiful quilting designs. So you can quilt in the hoop and get your quilt done and get it quilted. So that was just the first menu. And then they do have quilting all by itself. And so you can just do even more quilting designs in the quilting menu. You have Amanda Murphy designs. If you want to go into that entire folder, Amanda Murphy is a Bernina ambassador, and she has designed a lot of these Qmatic format designs for Bernina. And so it looks like they put a lot of them in here from Amanda Murphy's. These are beautiful quilting designs. So definitely you can start quilting your projects inside the hoop on this 990. And so that's a lot of quilting. In the accents, so there's a folder here of accent embroidery designs. These look just gorgeous. And just going to thumb all the way down. And so you've got all kinds of accent embroidery designs. Let's go back and check out the borders. So these are border designs that you can put along the border of your projects. So that's also very beautiful. Frames. So here you can make different types of, you can put wording inside of these frames, or you could just use the frame as a decorative. It looks like that could be your labels for your quilts. It could be any kind of decorative frames. Lace. So there's some beautiful lace work designs that you could stitch out. Look at that beautiful cross there. There's some beautiful lace work there. There are mini designs, of course. So these are little smaller. Why don't we take a look at, for example, what size that one is. That's a little mini design, and it is 25 by 31 millimeters. Takes 3 minutes to stitch out. That is very, very cute. And so all of these are that small. They're very tiny little designs. That's the mini folder. Flowers again. So we've got a lot of flowers on here. Gorgeous. Stylized flowers, even more that you could take, and you could compose these actually. You could take these and mix them up with other designs that are built in. Animals. So it looks like there's all kinds of really nice looking animals that you could, look at that flamingo there, 2 different flamingos, birds, cats, birds again. You have a deer, and a giraffe, a bee. Very, very pretty. So for children, you have designs that are very cute. Why don't we look at this fire truck? So there's a fire truck, and that is adorable. So that is a 76 by 67 millimeters. I'd have to convert we could do actually the conversion into inches, so that would be automatically displayed in inches, and that would be in the machine's configurations. We haven't done that yet on this machine, but we can do that later. Yeah, so those are for kids, and then there's baby column that you can look. So there's wonderful little babies. We're going to do a baby project. If we looked at, for example, a little giraffe, isn't that the cutest? So it's a tall 121 millimeters by 79 millimeters wide. Food and drink. So food and drink. Oh, look at the macaron. let's take him and let's get rid of him. And we can look at the macaron. How cute is that? Oh, and once we've got this up here, we can actually make this a little bit bigger, right? So that if you want to make it bigger, if you've got the ability to actually even rotate this right on the screen. So that's kind of fun that you can rotate or make them bigger or smaller. But you can actually go into edit and rotate and move and resize and mirror and all that kind of stuff, just like the traditional embroidery machines do. But look at how you can do that even without going into the specific menus. You can just kind of do that with your fingers, and you can fine tune it here in this editing window. But isn't that great that you can do that? Okay, so let's go back and get another menu here. We've got hobbies. So, I do love baking, but let's see what else we have here. So there's the baseball. Look at that. It's all in fill. Isn't that gorgeous? So you could just put that on any of your projects, and you can make it larger, move it around, of course. I was trying to make it larger or smaller, and it's a circle, but you could obviously angle it, replace it wherever you want. So it's just wonderful. The world of embroidery opened up for you inside this machine. Incredible. Seasons. So we've got, right now we're heading into, look at the tropical trees. Ooh, gorgeous for summertime and for vacation. That, to me, that's like the season of vacation. It's one which is holidays. So you've got different holidays in there. Let's see what we could look at. We could look at this one, which is eat, drink, and be thankful for the Thanksgiving and Halloween area of the year, time of the year. Let's see, so we were at holidays, we can go to celebrations. So they've got different, so you could do celebrations of birthdays, looks like Father's Day, different things like that. And if you want to just put a balloon on, like anything, you could do that. So that's really beautiful. Travel, oh, this is the one I love, right? So obviously you've got some really cool, like different countries that you can choose, but of course we are going to choose the Eiffel Tower because that is so beautiful. And you can make that bigger, the Eiffel Tower. Isn't that pretty? Words and sayings. So you've got different words inside of different embroidery designs. Why don't we look at this one with the so all you need is love and flip-flops. The next one is the monogram. So we've got some wonderful looking letters that you could use with decorative outline around them. And again, if you choose, for example, let's choose L for Linda Z's, you can increase the size, you can decrease the size, and then you can move them around. You can add another one to do, for example, Linda Z's. Decrease the size of that one. Not that we would do that like that, but you can actually add as many designs as you want to these. And so in the hoop designs, yes, for example, if you wanted to make this mask, this is an in the hoop design project, and you could do that also. So let me choose, let's go back to the Eiffel Tower, because that is probably my favorite one of all here. And if we were going to stitch this one out, let's make it a little bit bigger. We'll stitch it out. Right before we stitch out, we have this wonderful reminder menu that comes up, and it tells us, it gives us all of our choices. It tells us which presser foot to put on. It tells you whether or not you're going to baste. You can put your jump stitches on, and you can determine what the fabric thickness is. For example, if you're stitching on Minky or Cuddle, or if you're actually going to be going through a quilt and quilting on a quilt, you can give it the thickness of your project that you're working on, and then you can also do the length of your thread cuts. And so it's great to have that. And so once we've determined that, they tell us to put our hoop on, which again is very simple. So that was the embroidery designs inside the 990, the new brand new top of the line 990. And I mean, can you imagine? There's like a world of embroidery out there for you to attack here right inside the machine. And then you've got your port over here to add jump drive, to add designs from everywhere else, of course, too, because there's always the ability to add from the outside. But just think about how many, we just went through so many designs, and just to get through all of those, it would take us so long. And they're so beautiful, these designs built in. So just wanted to show you some of that, and to get your interest into this beautiful machine, gorgeous machine. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.